Hey life hackers, Carrie and Demir here.
How's it going, guys? So 14 years ago, none of us even knew what Facebook was, right? And now it's like a huge, huge part of our adult lives.
Yeah, according to social media today, the average person spends nearly 2 hours on social media every single day, and it translates to about 5 years and 4 months spent over an entire lifetime. 5 years!
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
So if you're beginning to feel like social media is just too big a part of your life, then we are recording this video just for you guys.
This is your time. So today we're going to share 7 hacks for breaking through on your social media addiction so you can enjoy yourself in life when you're not on your phone.
These are hacks we personally use every single day because we have also fallen deep into that social media addiction trap. And it's now actually been proven that the average millennial checks their phone as much as 150 times per day.
That's crazy.
In search of that little tiny hit of like dopamine that we get when someone likes our photo on Facebook.
Yeah, so Carrie and I decided we wanted to get some of that freedom and control back and take our life back from Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and media. And we're going to share you some of our best hacks for doing the same thing the way that we did. Now, these are hacks that we found actually produce an immediate result, and they're the easiest to implement. So here we go, hack number 1.
All right, number 1, turn off notifications.
No notifications.
No notifications. Notifications have become an easy way for us to stop doing actually important stuff to check our phone. And we actually interviewed Dan Martell, which is the founder of several multi-million-dollar companies, at our Lifehack Summit a few months ago. And he said something so revealing about notifications.
Yeah.
He told us, the top minds in the world are conspiring together to get us to check our phones.
That's absolutely true. That is so true. Some of the smartest people in the world are being hired by Facebook and Twitter and online social media platforms, and all they want you to do is do one thing. Click that phone. Touch that phone. Don't get off that phone. Guys, you got to realize the primary goal of any app is to keep you spending more time on the app. So the notifications are tiny little fish hooks that they get into us, and they're trying to get us to open the app.
Totally. So turning off your notifications in your phone settings, turn off your email settings as well. Don't forget about those email notifications, and don't forget about your desktop notifications too. Those also count. These are going to give you a tremendous amount of relief, guys.
Yeah, and you might feel lonely for the first few days when you stop checking your phone and that addiction works its way. And I just want you to realize that when you're feeling that feeling, that's showing you that that digital addiction is actually a real thing.
Yes.
So it's not bad to feel those withdrawals. Actually, I want you to look at those withdrawals and realize, wow, they really have their fishhooks in it.
All right, but soon enough, you're going to realize, heck, there's a whole world out there beyond my phone notifications.
And you'll feel lighter.
Yeah, so guys, that's hack number 1. Turn off those notifications.
Hack number 2. Use the Do Not Disturb function that's built into your phone. Guys, Do Not Disturb is a function on your phone that with one button, one push, you can turn yourself into a Do Not Disturb mode. It stops the incoming calls from ringing, it stops the notifications from dinging, and you can customize it in 100 different ways so that people who are important can still get through to you.
Yeah, definitely. So instead of actually using Do Not Disturb just occasionally, like rarely throughout your day, actually make it the default setting for your phone. Because when we interrupt our work to take even a phone call, we're virtually guaranteed to start checking the news, start checking our social media right afterwards. And an hour later, we're like, where did the time go?
Yeah, the more distance you can put between yourself and those incoming distractions, the more freedom you're going to have from social media. And as a plus, you're going to be able to stay focused longer at the task at hand and actually see your productivity go up.
Yeah, so we check our phones just a few times every day, maybe once every couple hours, just to make sure we're getting any emergency messages. But what you'll find is that so rarely in life, you'll have an emergency that you can't deal with an hour from now. So it's actually quite easy to start checking your phone less and less without anything blowing up in your face.
Yeah, we're not as important as we think we are. And our egos tell us that, man, if we sign off, terrible things are going to happen and people are going to need us. But the truth is that if you sign off and you only check your email 2-3 times a day, nothing bad is going to happen and so many good things are going to happen.
And by the way, for you parents out there, I can already hear you complaining, well, what if my kid needs to reach me?
Yes.
Well, guess what? In Do Not Disturb mode, anyone on your favorites list is still going to be allowed to call through. And anyone, even if they're not on your favorites list, is going to be allowed to call through if they call more than twice in a row.
So it just rings straight through. So if somebody really has to get a hold of you, they can get a hold of you.
Yeah.
You can engineer that. The technology gurus out there have figured out how to make that happen.
All right, so that was hack number 2, use Do Not Disturb.
Hack number 3, keep the phone in another room. Guys, when we're checking our phone at night and first thing in the morning, this is an incredibly hard habit to break if you're doing it already.
Yeah.
Just trying to force yourself to white knuckle it, like, I shouldn't be doing this, and it never works. But it's incredibly simple if you just put the phone in another room.
Yes, absolutely. We find that storing and charging your phone in the bathroom actually helps keep it out of sight, but it's still really accessible and actually encourages us to wake up when our alarm actually rings instead of just hitting snooze 7 times.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have to actually physically walk out of the bedroom and into the bathroom to turn off that alarm, and then we're right there to brush our teeth and get ready for the day.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, and you're going to save a ton of time, and you're going to start spending your evenings doing things like reading books and conversing with your significant other instead of just surfing that social media. And if you have teenagers or children, enforce them with them as well. So it's particularly effective in reducing cell phone addiction in younger people.
Absolutely. So try this out, guys. Try setting up a little power charging station in another room, maybe in your bathroom tonight, and just see how that works for you.
Absolutely.
All right, hack number 4.
Hack number 4, using a focusing app. All right, so these first few hacks were for your phone, and that's where you spend your most time on your social media, but what about your computer?
Yeah.
Right? Social media addiction can still strike us there.
Yeah, so what we recommend for your desktop or your laptop is to use a focusing app that's designed for desktop that can block social media sites. Yes, these things exist. And our favorites are Freedom, the Self-Control app, and Win the Day, which are all great tools for blocking social media and developing really great new habits.
Yeah, and I personally love something called Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator. And what it does is it hides your Facebook newsfeed so you can log into Facebook and actually do whatever business you might need to do there. And we run our business from Facebook as well, but it keeps you from getting those notifications and those scrolls. And so I can get into my Facebook app and I can do the work and respond to the messages that I need to for my business on Facebook without getting sucked into the newsfeed.
Okay, hack number 5. You gotta implement rules for social media use. These are your own personal set of principles. So having these rules or guidelines in place for your social media consumption is really an empowering way to make social media work for you instead of the other way around.
Try setting boundaries like no social media before 10 a.m. or after 5 p.m. or even giving yourself a daily limit to checking 5 times a day. So apps like Moment and Checky are going to tell you how many times a day you're checking your phone, and it's going to help you stay on track and provide some of that real-time feedback and accountability.
Yeah, definitely. So we actually set a batching schedule for checking our social media accounts, which for me is from 9 to 9:30 a.m. and again from 4:30 to 5 p.m. And this is just so that we can answer student questions that are coming at us through Facebook. And we even have other people checking our social media accounts throughout the day so that we can stay on top of student communications without us actually being distracted by it during the day.
Yeah, so I just get a notification once a day with all of the social media posts that I need to respond to. So it gives me the confidence that I can log off of social media, go do something else, and when I do come and I have an hour or 30 minutes to do social media, I can go right to exactly where I'm needed and add some value to somebody's life. Now let me just add a little bit of a section to this. Now, when it comes to my social media, I decided to do a flip. I realized that I was spending most of my time just sort of scrolling like this, and that wasn't adding any value to anybody's life. I made a commitment to myself that if I was going to be on social media, that I was going to be adding massive value. And so what I said is I get to have 3 hours a week outside of work. This is for my personal social media. I can have 3 hours a week, and during that time, I need to be adding massive value and really touching my friends' lives on social media. And it totally changed the way that I do social media now. So instead of just using that 3 hours in absorption mode, actually reading it, because when I'm reading somebody's post, they don't know that I'm reading. They don't realize that I'm seeing them. So what I did is I flipped it. So now when I have my scheduled 3 hours of social media, I'm actually writing. I'm going to people's posts, and I give myself the challenge, how do I touch a friend's lives? How do I let them know that I see them? How do I add value on social media? It has changed everything about my social media, because instead of consuming now, I'm really moving to touching people on social media. That has changed everything for me.
All right, that leads us right into hack number 6, actually, which is to unfollow all day, every day.
All day, every day.
All day, every day. So have you ever found yourself comparing yourself to others on social media, right? We see a friend looking fabulous with like 4 kids in tow, and we can't even manage to shower in the morning, and we just get jealous, right? And this tendency of ours is very common to compare ourselves and then feel inadequate as a result.
You call it compare and despair.
Yeah.
That's what they call that. So if we're not feeling jealous, then we're outraged, right? The media has learned that the best way to get us to click on a headline is to make them as charged and controversial as possible, and really make them as divisive as possible.
Yeah, and as a result, the media that we consume actually raises our blood pressure and makes us indignant and enraged.
Yeah, so this hack makes it onto the list because it helps solve the root of the problem with social media, right? This hack is to unfollow every channel that is determined to make us jealous, to make us feel bad about ourselves, to make us feel bad about our neighbors, to make us feel divisive and upset and angsty.
Yeah, it's not personal, guys. Nowadays, following and unfollowing are so pervasive that the only ones who are losing out are the people who aren't doing it. We need to be curating the feeds. So whenever you see a post or a person in your feed who you just don't need in your life, just go ahead and unfollow them. And I certainly hope that's not us, by the way.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, what you're really doing is you're taking your brain back. Right now, when you're giving your attention into social media channels and media channels that don't have your best interests at heart, you're really giving your brain to them, and you're letting them get into your brain and create those feelings of jealousy and anger and divisiveness. Take your brain back. All right, hack number 7.
Yes, so hack 7 is quit cold turkey. So one of my absolute favorite authors, Cal Newport, actually has a whole TED Talk on why he doesn't even have a Facebook account.
Go watch it.
Yeah, it's awesome. So that's right, he's actually a best-selling author. He's also a professor of computer science at Georgetown, and yet he has never had any sort of social media account. And sure, he's probably not as in the know about what his friends are up to on a day-to-day basis, but you can be sure that instead of wasting 5 years of his life, he's gonna use that time to write a few more bestsellers.
Guys, I know that deleting social media accounts or deleting social media apps, it might feel dramatic, but it is actually an effective way to break yourself from that social media addiction, even if it's temporary. So if you're not sure, just start by deleting social media apps just off your phone and not on your computer. And this way, you have to try harder to access your accounts, and you have to go to a desktop, you have to open a browser and actually get on that way.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, so bonus hack for the truly invested here. We're kind of going out on a limb, but this is to actually throw away your phone.
This is incredible. Now, we wrote an incredible piece about this where I actually lived without my phone for a long time. You can check that out on our blog. And this is for the truly invested among you. So Carrie and I need to do 1 or 2 things on social media accounts to monitor and keep up with our business. But what we realized is that our phones were really our enemy. That was where the source of all this negativity and distraction and frustration was coming from. And that's where we were wasting the majority of our time. And so it was also a way that other people were coming to life and distracting us, and we didn't want that to be happening.
Amen. Yeah, so Demir actually decided to straight up give up his phone. And I was a little bit not brave enough, but he gave up his cell phone plan first, and eventually then his entire device.
Yeah, guys, what I found is that everything that I used to be able to do on my phone, I can do just as well on my computer in just a split second, right? So the difference is, though, is that I have control over my computer, but my phone is really, I'm a victim to it because it's designed to interrupt me. It's designed to work its way and penetrate its way into my life. And so a way for me to take that back was to actually move everything over to the computer, all my text, all my phones, all my communications, so that I could close it at the end of the day and it truly was gone.
Yeah, so if you're just not feeling like your phone is delivering a high ROI, a return on investment for the money that you spend on it every month, then maybe consider giving it up entirely, or even just giving up your phone plan.
So guys, thank you. That's it for this video. Comment below with your hacks for how you break your social media addiction. We want to learn from you too.
Yes, and check out the additional resources that we have below for more information on how to break social media addiction. See you in the comments, guys.
Bye guys.